Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation, with today's Ask Michael Anything on Reinventing Yourself. Off to the side, and not to be on camera, is the mysterious Jessica Lee, my wife, co-host, all things to me, and the producer of the Inspire Nation show. And she's the one who is on the chat at the moment. So today we have a very exciting show for you. But before we do that, we do have some interesting news. Bugles, please. We are announcing imeditations.com. We are going to be, have your one-stop shop for all things meditation, your home for meditation. And so what we're doing is, if you sign up for our newsletter right now, you'll be one of the first to find out. We are going to have a monthly membership site for meditations. We have over 500 meditations from our show, from all the guests on our show, and we want to get it to you, our Inspire Nation audience. So we are so excited about that. So to find out more, come on over to inspirenationshow.com, sign up for our newsletter where we have weekly stories and inspiring stories and information. And we're going to get you a lot more on imeditations.com. No website's not built yet, but it will be coming shortly. All right. Today is April 2nd. I wanted to say 2006. It is actually 2019. My math was off earlier for today for those who are on our newsletter. But what an interesting date this is, because it was on this date. Hold on, here I am brightening the screen. There we go. It was on this date, April 2nd, 2006. that I had my first of 2 NDEs. And I don't know how to say this without starting to sound choppy and emotional. So bear with me. April 2nd, 2006, I was a athlete, a little bit cocky, a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, loved everybody very, very dearly, wanted to do everything I could to change the world. In 2004, I did a 5,000-mile solo 40-day bike ride across the country to help people with learning disabilities and attention deficit, ADHD. In 2006, I'd been sponsored by Rollerblade because in addition to being a professional level cyclist, I'd also been an Olympic Training Center trained speed skater. Not that great of one, but good enough to do some real big distance events on my inline skates. And I was training for a world record 4,000-mile 40-day skate across the country. On this particular day in Boulder, Colorado, I just finished a training session, and I was taking off my skates, been meditating in a creek, praying for safety and guidance. I'd been listening to, prior to that, an audiobook by Dr. Wayne Dyer, called Inspiration. That's interesting. That is really interesting. Talking about how everything in life happens for a reason. I got out of the creek. I laced up my skates. I said, go slow, Michael. It's a Sunday. There'll be tourists out. Rounded the first bend. Had no idea there was a tourist who was visiting Boulder. Didn't know that it was a bike path. Stepped out right in front of me, teaching his baby how to walk. In that moment, my world changed. I jumped up and backwards as best as I could. I really honestly don't even know how I did it to avoid hitting the baby. I remember thinking in the air, will I still be able to do my skate? Landed with this huge concussive thud. I was rotating to my left to try to avoid the baby, and exploded everything from my arm, through my hip, through my femur, through my ego, through my existence. In that moment, the Michael who was died, gone. You could call it a satori, an instant moment of awakening, of change. Doesn't mean I'm enlightened, far from it. But a complete moment of shift or a near-death experience. I don't recall a tunnel. I don't recall any bright lights. I do recall that everything about me changed as I looked at the world before me. My heart had changed. How I viewed everything changed. I was like almost in tears that the baby and the father were okay in front of me. Other than the fact that I had to find a way to lift my left leg over my right because the bones were trying to puncture into the femoral artery and I could feel it. Life was spectacular. I've gone back to that place for 7 years after that. I went back there every day, put my hand on a tree where I had fallen and give thanks and prayed for how I turned out and how I changed. And forgive me, I have been playing in the cold too much and am about to sneeze. Of course. I'm not calling it a cold. I'm not going to give it that power. But it was 40 degrees colder when I ran in the hills on Saturday than it was for the previous 3 weeks. And my body has responded accordingly. So in that moment, I changed. And I gave thanks for it and went back there each year and gave thanks. The person I was is no more, both due to circumstances and out of choice. There's a choice, and that's really what I want to talk with you about today, which is in that moment, I had a choice for it to be this horrific, tragic experience. Poor me, woe is me. Why did this happen? I was training for this big event. Everything I was doing was leading up to it. Now look at me. Or I could choose to say, woohoo! And I don't believe I woohooed before that. I know I woohooed a lot after that and say, wow, I've been praying for safety and guidance. I just got crushed here on the trail. Maybe that was stopping me from getting hit by a truck or a bus or anything else that could have happened out on the roads on my skates for 4,000 miles. There's a reason nobody has done that before. It was supposed to be 4,000 miles, 40 days, LA to New York City. And on top of that, I can view it as a gift. I can say that something positive is going to happen out of this. In fact, I know something positive is going to come out of this. Why do I know that? Because it's a choice. If you believe something positive is going to come out of any of your life experiences, I guarantee you it will. You'll look for it. Your awareness will expand until you find something positive to prove you right. And if you believe something negative is going to come out of this experience, then I promise and guarantee you something negative, I'll put that in quotes, will. It's always a choice. Now, for myself, I know when I got into the hospital, the doctor is telling me, I've got to get you right into surgery or you're going to lose your leg or lose your life. I was actually trying to take a selfie of myself, not to be vain, because I had this huge ear-to-ear grin. In fact, I was telling the doctor, don't worry, doc, it's going to go back together better than you ever expected it would. I was choosing to find the positive. Why is this so important? Because we only have, limiting belief alert, we only have so much energy, so much chi to go around, at least until we're enlightened, until we're the Buddha, until we're the Dalai Lama. That guy is like everywhere, or until we have really figured out how to master our chi. Until that point, there's only so much energy or resources that we have to play with. If we tell ourselves, woe me, poor is me, look at what happened to me. In fact, if you get others to commiserate, oh, poor you, Michael. I know you were training so hard. Oh, it's got to be so bad to be you. If that happens, if you focus on that, then your energy is going to go brr, 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 brr. Good luck healing. In fact, in my case, good luck living. Good luck surviving and having that leg still attached to you. Focusing on the negative drags you down into a cesspool. That's focusing on the dark side. If, however, you say something amazing is going to come out of this, I just know it. Your energy goes up and up and up and up and up. And something amazing most likely will come out of it. I can't promise the future. I can't guarantee. We are not in charge. No matter how much we believe we are not in charge. But for however much time you have and whatever may come next, you are going to be in the highest vibration place possible. The place where you are most likely to heal and to fly. I chose that. Doesn't mean I'm great. You can choose that too in this moment. That's why I'm so glad that you're here tonight. You can choose to shift your life. We all wait. We say, I'm not ready, or when such and such, then we will change. We wait for circumstances to dictate when we will change in our lives. If we're a drinker or if we're an addict, we wait until we crash the car, till we almost die, or until our spouse threatens to leave us, or does leave us. Or we wait for injury, we wait for illness, we wait until we lose a job, or till we finally feel so uncomfortable, we declare out of pain and necessity, I'm not going to take it anymore. The trick is, you don't have to wait. You can make that declaration today. We can change in an instant. We can truly reinvent ourselves. It all begins with a choice, a powerful declaration that the old you is dead and there's a new you in her or his place. I love the expression, the king is dead, long hail the king, or long live the king. You could say the king or queen is dead, long live the king or queen, meaning there is a new you in his or her place. Another quick story, fun one. I used to work in the fashion industry. Actually loved it for a while, although it was too much everything for me. And it wasn't where I belonged for the long term. And I remember being at a Las Vegas fashion show. Hard to believe I'm at a fashion show, although now I'm wearing a little bit of new threads here. And I actually love dressing up Jessica and choosing her clothing. It is one of my greatest joys, and taking her to a clothing store and seeing her try on stuff. I love that, Pookie. And so here I am tromping around Las Vegas and going, things have got to change. I feel out of alignment. I remember Wayne Dyer used to say, you must die to live. You must die while you're still alive. And what that means is what we're talking about today, is shedding the old clothes, shedding the old you to bring in the new. So I'm walking along the streets of Las Vegas. In fact, I was probably healing from some injury. I was wearing my Rockport Vibram sole shoes, and I felt like I was getting stronger with each step. And I saw off by the Circus Casino and Hotel, I saw this giant crane, 12, 13, 14 maybe stories in the air. And it had a banner on it saying bungee jumps. And I thought to myself, what a better way to die while I'm still alive than to take a bungee jump. I went over there, signed up, not cheap, paid for it to get my video as well so that I could have footage of me dying while I'm still alive. Oh boy. Went to the top of this crane in this glass elevator, stepped out. I'm on this mesh floor where I can see through to the ground. It's windy. The crane is swaying to and fro. Talking myself up, saying I can do this. They put on a harness. I've got a suit on. They put the harness on around my suit pants. I get to the edge of this thing when it's my turn, ready to jump. Except it turns out that there is railings, great, but then there is a plank. You've got to walk out on the plank without railings, like a diving board, and then jump off of that. Between you and me and the thousands more who are listening to this, I couldn't do it. I freaked out. I pulled back, and I tried several times, couldn't get myself to that edge. Had a drill sergeant of an instructor who was brilliant in what he said. His delivery could have used a little work. He said, all you intellectuals are alike. You think too much. Look at me. I'm stupid, and I can jump. Stop thinking. You know what? He was right. But the way he said it didn't work. And I freaked out and went back down to live to jump another day. On the way down, or trying to take off my harness, I don't know exactly when, I split my suit pants in two. Universe has quite the sense of humor, meaning I had to use, I think it was my briefcase and my jacket, holding one in front, one behind me, as I scurried off to the local mall trying to get a pair of pants. I mean, I was split from the zipper all the way up to the belt in the back. It was two legs attached by a belt with my boxer briefs showing in between. And I had to go get myself a new pair of pants. I didn't quite die to live. My pants did. However, fast forward, 2 months later, I'm on a date, met a girl online. We're at Myrtle Beach, and she wants to do a bungee jump. Now, I had had 2 months to think about this. And she told me, if you don't want to jump, or I'll jump first. Let me tell you, pride and ego do have their place. I jumped, and it was phenomenal. But I jumped once, and I said, not out of ego, I said, I want to jump a second time. The first time I jumped, I had the pressure from the girl. And of course, I'm trying to show off for her. I'm going to jump in before her. The second time was for me. I remembered I wanted to die while I'm still alive. I remembered the symbolism that I wanted to bring to this. I am shifting to a new me who's more daring, who's more bold, who is going to shed the old and welcome in the new. And I went up there. This wasn't a giant crane. This was something a lot more tame. I went up to the top of this thing. I got present. I gathered myself up. And then with eyes open, I leapt off of this thing. So what I want to ask you is, if you could reinvent yourself in this moment, who or what would you be? Where would you be? What would you be doing? Who would you be surrounding yourself with? What would you do to live, to thrive, and survive? You can do all of these things. You can begin all of these things today. All it begins with is a powerful choice, a no mas, I'm not going to take this anymore. I am going to shift my life in this moment. In fact, I'd grab a piece of pen and paper and I would make a declaration. The old me is dead. From this moment forward, I fill in the blank, whatever you want. Live your greatest life. But how am I going to do this? We don't need to know the hows. You can take baby steps forward from here. But if you make that declaration and you write out that declaration each and every day, I promise you, I guarantee you, I feel like a salesman, but you will get there. For us, we're looking at how can we make the show more pro. I've got this big picture, burning goal in my heart. I want a studio here in the Roaring Forks Valley by the end of the year, by the end of 2019. I want a studio where I can fit guests inside, not just guests on stage, where I can have you, a studio audience, where people can travel and visit Aspen and come see our shows live, where people can attend an ideas festival, a music festival, a concert, or skiing. And I can grab them and bring them into the studio and interview them there on the spot. I can see this pro studio so clearly in my mind's eye. I've used the word pro for a reason. We have an amazing show. We reach hundreds of thousands of people daily. Number 2 on iTunes and growing. But there's so much more we can do. So I'm asking ourselves, so I'm challenging ourselves, how can we improve? How can we fit into our new clothes of who we see ourselves to be? How can we be more pro? Part of that is the new threads. I'm working on what's my pro outfit look like. In fact, I'm guessing I'm going to get a whole bunch of sport jackets in all the colors that I love, which to me are the colors of the sun: yellow, orange, red, purple. I love the colors of sunrise through sunset. course, maybe even a gold jacket. We'll see. But not just what am I wearing for my duds? What can we do to improve our green screen or get a TV behind us or improve our studio? Part of that, though, is really changing on the inside. The outside are props that help us. And really, you feel differently with a new haircut, with a new jacket, maybe even with a new purse. And I'm not saying bye, and let's strip the earth bare. Far from it. But look at what fits the new you best. Again, first, you get to see it on the inside. If you think it and you believe it, you can certainly achieve it. If you think it and believe it, tapping on my heart now, you can certainly achieve it. One piece of the puzzle we've been asking ourselves, how can we reach more people more? How can we help people more? Turns out we have 500 meditations from the ends of approximately every other show, even more than that probably, a guest gives us a meditation. So we've been asking, well, how can we give that out? The more energy you put out there, the more that it comes back. That's where imeditations.com came from. And we are going to be building a monthly meditation site for you where you can get meditations, new meditations, almost daily, 2 to 3 meditations a week for like $7, or live meditations with us for like $20, a way that we can give back to you and help us to grow. So that's what you get to ask yourself. How can I change? What can I do? What are the simple steps I can take in this moment to improve my life? This is going to sound strong, but I mean this so sincerely. Comfort is the enemy of the living. Comfort is the enemy of the living and of growth. You can get comfortable in your pine box. Nobody ever truly learns anything from kicking back on the couch day after day, watching their Netflix, their YouTube. Hey, I'm guilty as anybody else. The change comes from challenging ourselves. You learn on the mountain. It's why I love running mountains. You learn in the marathon. It's why I love running. You learn in the discomfort, whatever that means for you. They say everybody gets spiritual at mile 20 of a marathon. So I challenge you to get up off of the couch to live your greatest life. It's a choice. It's your decision. When do I want to start living my life rather than anybody else's? Ask yourself this. When do I want to live my life? For on the couch, we are living someone else's. Actually, what we're doing on the couch is recovering from doing somebody else's job, from living somebody else's dream, or living somebody else's vision of safety and security for ourselves. But of course, as you know, there is no safety and security except in the pine box. So you might as well live your life. Live your life. Go to prayer. Ask for help. Ask for guidance. Ask for strength from beyond. Ask to stay in the light. Ask for the angels themselves to wrap their wings around you and give you the courage and strength to fly. Bringing it back around April 2nd, 2006. If I thought I was going to die, I would have died. If I thought I would die, I would have died. If I thought I would have lost a leg, that's what the doctor was telling me, then I'd be hopping around today. But instead, I believed I'd walk. I believed I'd run. I believed I'd ride. I believed I'd play in sports again at the highest level. It was a choice. And that's exactly what I'm doing. In fact, tomorrow I'm interviewing a running coach. I'm going to be hiring I'm going to be hiring a running coach. I'm one of the most best-selling authors for running out there, and I'm hiring a running coach. Why is that? because I want to challenge myself. I want to improve. I want to get uncomfortable, and I want to take my uphill running, and in winter, what they call ski-mo, which is running uphill in skis, I want to take it to a whole new level. It's about setting a goal, and I want you to do that first. Make the change. Make the choice to change. And then set a goal for yourself. Something wild, something crazy, something audacious. Mo Gaudat of Google X, who we had on last week, I believe we'll be having him back on here again shortly, calls it a moonshot. It's what Google shoots for. They say, reach for the stars and you may get the moon. Set a wild, crazy, outrageous goal for yourself. You know what? I can't wait till I hit 50. I keep telling Jessica this. Why? Because I am going to rock it at sports even more than I am now. When I hit 30, I did my only Ironman. Actually, my level of sport took off again right after that. I let go of the limitations. I let go of the, well, if only you coulda, woulda, shoulda, and it's too late now. And instead, I make a choice. And that's what I'm challenging you to do today. Live life fully alive, scared, afraid, excited, invigorated, terrified, but fully awake and aware and on that edge. That's where your living takes place. Whatever that looks like for you. That way, when your life does come to the end, I'll put that in quotes. I do not believe there's anything such as an end. It's a doorway. But when the next doorway opens and your time truly comes, you'll be at peace knowing you fully lived. It's a choice. Make it. Live it. You can do this. Woohoo! With that said, tell you real briefly again, come sign up for our newsletter, inspiranationshow.com. We're going to be sharing stories like the one you're getting here, inspirational stories, inspirational messages, words of wisdom that you get daily, weekly from us. Plus, we're going to have information for you on imeditations.com, and we'll let you know as soon as it's live. In fact, in the next few days, we're going to be getting up free meditations for you on the website as well, something we've been wanting to do for a long time. We made the choice just this week, and once we make that choice, if there's one thing about Jessica and myself, once we make that choice, we go full in. Lastly, if you want to support the show, we are 100% supported by you, our audience. So come on over to patreon.com. It's patreon.com/InspireNation, patreon.com/InspireNation. Become a member of the Inspire Nation family. Support the show by getting your backstage pass. It helps us keep going. It helps us to bring you the content you want. And we are doing everything we can to help you to shine bright. With that said, going to open it up to questions now. Jessica is usually all in on the chat room, so I'm going to see if I can bring her back from chat and back to, quote, Earth, to see what questions we have. We'll turn the mic a little bit towards you here.
Well, first we have another announcement to make. I don't think you mentioned Spotify.
Oh my God, we are on
Spotify.
We are on Spotify. It's interesting. Okay, between you and me, we've been exhausted going through this baby game since last fall. And we had been on all things, what do you call it? Podcast related till Spotify came along. And then last fall with pregnancy number 1, I checked, found we were not on Spotify, applied to Spotify, thought we were on Spotify. Turns out we weren't. Baby time number 2, we're in the middle of exhausted, thought we were in Spotify, found out we're not in Spotify, applied for Spotify. Still weren't on Spotify. Found that out this week as really it's Jessica coming back to life, coming out of the exhaustion of pregnancy round number 2. And we are now on Spotify. Woohoo! And I'm actually starting the process to get an Inspire Nation app, which I hope to have within the next couple months here. I believe it's a 4 to 6 week window once I get all of the paperwork done, so that on your phone or whatever digital device you have, you're going to be able to just click on the Inspire Nation logo, and it's going to take you right to our show. That is, again, some of the choices that we are making to step forward. When you want to talk about stepping forward into the fear, podcast development, not exactly, or not podcast development, app development, not exactly my area of expertise in the past. I always put that caveat there. I'm not very organized. In the past, I make a choice and I will find a way. The same thing you can do as well. All right, let's go from there and let's go to some beautiful, beautiful questions.
Okay, our first question is from Adam, who asks, does bioelectricity, emotions or feeling, orgasm, in parentheses, explosion of the mind, etc., has something to do with manifestation?
Oh my God, yes, Adam. All of it is energy. All of it matters. All of it helps towards manifestation. In fact, I will keep the PG version right here. I haven't read the original, I'm told it's out there, version of Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich, who is a master manifester. But he does talk about sexual energy being the most powerful energy in the universe for manifestation. So between you and me, Adam, when that time comes, no pun intended, if you set intention before you make love with a partner, before anything that you do in that energetic sexual realm, if you set intention and you focus on that, you can literally help bring it about. Anytime that there is energy involved, particularly positive energy, you are in the manifestation process. Bring intention to it. The more intentionally, Adam, you live every aspect of your life, the more you help bring things about, because it is all energy. And at those moments of peak energy, you are sending a peak signal to the universe. Become aware of your thoughts, become aware of your energy, become aware of how you circulate energy, and then the seeds, again, no pun intended, that you want to plant. Beautiful, beautiful question, Adam.
Our next question is from Connie, who asks, did you have people that were negative around you during your healing time, or did they seem to magically not be around?
Oh, that is such a brilliant question, Connie. All right, Connie, between you and me, I was actually engaged when that accident happened. I was engaged to a runner who was as far away on the other side of the planet as I possibly could be. And she was there for like a 6-week training camp. I think it was extended beyond that. She was, I don't know, week 2, 3, when word got to her. I couldn't even use the phone at first. Word got to her of what had happened to me. 2 weeks later, we were broken up. I didn't even see her again for months after that. Talk about a WTF moment. But a lot of the people who weren't in that higher vibration place, I call that time the festivities. My head was completely spun. The best I could do was focus on the positives and say, we're going to repair the damage that happened to my psyche from that relationship. We're going to repair that later on. Right now, I have to focus with everything I have on my healing process. And yes, that did mean surrounding myself with positive people. In fact, I went and gave talks. I can't believe this. The first weekend I was out of my hospital bed, because literally they had to put a hospital bed in my living room. Thank you, whatever. I can't even remember the name of the medical truck that brought I called it my Ferrari at the time, my hospital bed into my living room, because it allowed me to hold on to this triangle and pull myself upright so that I could get in and out of bed on my own. That was like the greatest gift in the world. But I spoke, I think it was a month later, in Orlando, Florida, and surrounded myself with positive people and challenged myself to be in the most positive place I could. Was everybody around me positive? Were the people? No. Were people who were not positive? What happened? Well, they disappeared. Why'd they disappear? I wouldn't engage them in the conversations that they were looking for. If I go to poor me, woe is me, who is that going to help? I can remember being out on the trails. I got out on the trails, I think the first weekend after I finally got out of the hospital. And that's a whole nother story because they had moved me to a rehab hospital, which literally had bars on the window and people moaning and crying and screaming. And when I miraculously got out of that place, I wanted to put myself in the most positive place possible. That meant getting to nature. And I can remember that first weekend getting to nature. I had this thing called a TED hose on, this white stocking that keeps you from having blood clots and brings blood back to the heart. And I looked ghastly white. And I think I did a half a mile on my crutches in 2 hours. And this crutch had a jerry rig on it so I could do it with one arm. And there are people who were aghast, and they wouldn't even look at me. And there are other people that were such incredibly positive places that they just wanted to cheer me on. You will attract into your life the people who you resonate with. It's like looking at the food that you eat. You attract in what you eat at the energetic level that you're vibrating with, and for that matter, what you drink as well. So challenge yourself to vibrate at the highest level you possibly can. Brilliant, brilliant question. What's next?
Our next question is from Anthony, who asked, was the second bungee jump more enjoyable seeing now that you did it for yourself?
That's a brilliant question. I would say yes, Anthony. The only pause that I have is I wasn't aware enough in the first jump. It was, okay, got to do it. It's over. The second time, and this is a lesson in life, it's certainly a lesson for both of us, is I was fully present and aware. I enjoyed the feeling of my stomach going up, going, wow, this is just like in my dreams as I fell off of this thing. I recognized people say, oh, it's going to pull your organ. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. It doesn't do anything of the sort. It's the most gentle sensation of slowing down as the slack gradually goes out of the cords. There was no tug. There was no pull. I gradually felt myself slowing down. And then I felt weightless for a moment as the cord started to bring me back up. And then I felt weightless again as the cords ended there shooting me up into the heavens. And I came back down and I enjoyed each moment of it. In fact, I felt it had ended too soon because I was fully present and aware with it. Now, would I do it again? I believe absolutely I would. I've heard since then they have a bungee jump off of the Needle in Las Vegas, which would be the next logical step. I don't know, Anthony. I don't know. Capable of it? Yes. Would I ever do something like that? I have no idea. Would I skydive, on the other hand? Almost did it for my birthday. We were certainly looking into it. Don't look at it as a thrill-seeking thing. Look at it as what I can set with powerful intention, step into my own power, have faith, believe in myself, believe that I'm loved and supported by the universe, and kind, gentle, easy, good with pros all around me, put myself out there. Who's next?
Thanks. Our next question is from Meredith, who writes, on Sunday, I received heartbreaking news about the sudden death of my best friend and former partner. I have taken time off of work to process, rest, and reach out. But what do I do? Thank you.
Meredith, can I give you a huge hug? Can I just give you a huge hug? It's going to be all right, Meredith. It's going to be all right. But I don't ever want to tell you, oh, you're going to be fine. You're going to be perfect. It's going to be better than ever. And everything in life happens for a reason. On some level, yes, it does. But grief is grief. Loss is loss. And it's huge. And I feel for you. And my heart goes out to you. And obviously, we've been experiencing a lot of grief this past year. Be with it, Meredith. Be with it. If you're ready, lean into it. If not, do whatever brings your heart even the slightest glimmer of hope and of love and of light right now. Then when you're ready, lean into it. I remember when I lost a group project partner, dear friend, Carrie Korenko, a year after I'd finished grad school. Oh my God, the most amazing human being. Funny, beautiful, talented, double master's degree, genius, had the coolest running dog in the world. Every guy was always coming up to me and going, "Is she single? Could you introduce me?" And she took her own life. She couldn't get past dwelling on the negative emotions that said, "You're not enough, you're not worthy, you're broken, and you can't be fixed." And when we focus on those negatives, it takes us lower and lower and lower until she made a logical conclusion. She cleaned up all her affairs, got everything in order, got a home for her dog, and did not fool around, took herself out on the first try. And it was the most heart-wrenching thing because we all felt so helpless. All of her friends, we all felt so helpless. Why didn't we do something? What could we have done? If only I had. I shoulda, woulda, coulda. I wish I had had. But the fact is, it happened as it happened, just like this happened as it happened. And there is nothing I could do about it. There's nothing you could have done about it. But we can learn, we can grow from it, and we can choose to find positive threads. There's still a hole in my heart for Carrie. On the other hand, I dedicated part of my first book to her. I chose to write some things differently in my first book because of her. That was College Confidence with ADD. And she's still helping me to this day and helping me to help you to this day. So, no, I don't want to say, I don't want to make light of it. In a sense, great things can come of this. In a sense, it's the greatest tragedy. Loss is loss. But if we look at the infinitesimal beingness of our existence, we are all energetic beings having a human existence. This is my suit jacket, so to speak. This is my meat suit. But if we realize we are something greater than this, then it may not make us feel great in the moment. I don't even want you to feel great. Of course, I want you to feel great, but I want you to be able to grieve and to heal. But know that there is so much more going on here than meets the eye, and lean into the grief process. This just happened. This is a long-term healing process. Give yourself the time. Be as kind and gentle and loving to yourself. Love myself. I love myself. I love myself. Love yourself up as you possibly can, and surround yourself when you're ready. It's too easy when we get into grief to want to go into a hole and hide there. It's okay to go there temporarily, no judgment, but then kick yourself out and surround yourself with positive, loving people to help bring you back into the light. I send all my love your way. Do we have a next question? It was Meredith, right?
Yes.
Love you, Meredith. Send all my love your way.
Our next question is from Brendan, who asks, favorite interviews or advice on dissolving the ego or pride?
Brendan, that is the hardest question for me to answer out of all of the questions. That is by far the hardest question to answer because I tend to have rolling favorites. Today's we have just so many amazing guests. I know that sounds like a cop-out. I don't know a better way to put it. We get to come up with a system to be able to share on a monthly basis our favorites. We certainly get to do that. But there are so many favorites. Lee Harris, incredible recently.
On dissolving the ego?
On dissolving the ego, yes, absolutely. Pritchard, first name? I'm spacing his name. Skip Pritchard, I absolutely loved. David Nagel, I absolutely loved. Renee was so cool. Renee Linnell in sharing her story. Mo Gaudat, absolutely love him. Mitch Horowitz, phenomenal. Paul Selig, all-time favorite spiritual author. The list goes on and on and on. So it is really, really hard to choose a favorite. Jessica, do you recall any others that I've been hopping up and down with you about recently? There's just been so many great ones.
Yes, but they weren't all about dissolving the ego or pride.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about, I'm just going favorites. And then I was going to go into dissolving the ego or pride.
Oh. Robin Sharma.
Oh my God, absolutely love Robin Sharma. Yes, yes, yes. See, I need a list in front of me, and then I can go all-time favorite, all-time favorite, all-time favorite. So we have to come up with a way to get you this. As far as dissolving the ego, Lee Harris, Paul Selig, Matt Kahn. But I feel called to say, I'm not so much into dissolving the ego as I am befriending the ego. It's all love. It's all God. It's all source. It's all universe. I feel like saying, hi, ego, come in here. I love you. I love you. I love you. I can help you to relax. So your ego wants to keep you, quote, small, to keep you, quote, safe, to protect you. What's bad about something or someone wanting to protect you? Your parents wanted to protect you too. Society, in a sense, wants to protect you. The trick is they're not allowing you to fully grow and evolve into your true greatness, into your true self. But if you understand that there's nothing to fight against, you don't have to destroy your ego. You don't have to burn your ego. You don't have to move past your ego. Make friends with your ego. Realize your ego is your wounded inner child trying to keep you safe. I love you, ego. You're crazy. You're nuts. You're off your rocker. And sometimes you're biatch slapping me. Back and forth you go. But I still love you up no matter what. If you get one message out of tonight, other than choosing to step forward into your greatness now in this moment, write out that statement. It is to love up everyone and everything in your life unconditionally, including and especially your crazy, wacky, insane ego that gets to be locked up. But it also gets to be loved up. It's all God. It is all good. So that's where I go with that. But yes, I did think I see you say a bonus on who our favorites are. And that's part of, we are working to systematize everything. And we're working to bring in a larger team to help us to do this. Because I want to share what's going on up here in my head and here in my heart. And I have had, like I've been trying to grow our social media presence. I have had a challenge doing that. And I'm looking at why. Why do I have a challenge? If this is so important, why do I have a challenge in growing my social media? And Jessica told me why quite clearly a few days ago. She said, Michael, you're still doing your uploads late into the evening. And when you do your uploads late at night, you are exhausted. And so we are working to expand our team, to grow our team, to give me more of the time to share with you what's most important. And that is my challenge for myself that I am working on. iMeditations, for instance, that came out of stepping back and going, it's real easy to be in the addictive place of doingness. I have to get out of do, and get into step back into beingness. Or as Amit Goswami called it, do. I have to get into that be place, hear what I can do next, and then say, well, that's really scary, and I don't know where to find the time for that, but I'm going to choose and commit to it anyway. You look like you've got something to say, to add, to share.
Well, I think it's interesting that you're noticing that you're addicted to the doing.
Mm-hmm.
This is amazing news.
This is amazing. Have I been stepping back? Have I
Yes.
been taking the time?
Yes.
Have I even let our most amazing assistant, Aya, we love you, we love you, we love you. Let her know to keep gaps in my schedule and put more gaps in the schedule.
Yes.
In fact, I'm fighting for the gaps rather than saying, we've got to fill every moment. Instead, I'm saying quite the reverse. And today, as I say, I don't have a cold. I just have lungs that were a little bit shocked by Saturday. Midday today, when I was going to go for my run or hike, and you were doing a meditation or snuggled up in bed, what happened?
You were fumbling around.
Yep. This is PG, everybody. Don't worry.
I thought you were looking for something,
Yeah.
as usual.
Yeah.
And then you crawled into bed.
I took a nap. A nap. Is that unheard of?
I think it happens once or twice a year.
Yes. And I know that greatness comes out of the pause button. And so I am challenging myself as part of my reinvention process. In fact, I feel like this is deja vu, like we shared this years ago on Emerald Isle. I know that the only way, limiting belief, I believe that the easiest way to grow is to step back and get out of the addiction of doing and see what next steps come from there.
I even noticed the addiction in myself. Sometimes, I step away from work for a while, and then when I come back to it and I'm like at the computer and I'm doing like the daily grind thing, the same stuff I do every day, I notice that I feel comfortable. I'm like, I can relax into the work.
So yesterday afternoon is a brilliant example of this. And let me know if I can move the camera over to you. I know people want to see you, but I don't know if you're considering that okay or not at this moment. You're questioning whether you can or not. Yesterday afternoon, I had all these great things that I wanted to get done, and instead found us working on some brilliant stuff with taxes. And the fascinating thing is, it was incredibly helpful for us, but because it wasn't what I felt I was, quote, supposed to do, my ego, which I'm loving up no matter what, is telling me I'm off track. I'm doing the things that help us the most, but because it wasn't the doings that I had planned on doing, I'm picking on myself. The addiction to our doingness is pure insanity. Pure insanity. All right, so
You
now
have you have a new nickname, Michael the Napster.
Michael the Napster. Ooh, fascinating. I'm going to have to ask more about this. So, all right, we've
napping.
Oh, I like it. I will take that. I will take that and run with it to the bed. Because that is the greatest way. You want to grow, you want to evolve. It's not about going onto the couch and being one with the couch with Netflix or YouTube on, but it's about hitting the pause button and seeing what comes to you. That's why meditation is so important. And meditation without expectation, meditation without a necessity of X, Y, or Z to come out of it. And it is truly taking pauses in your life. All right, well, now that we have you dressed, quote, decent, I can swing the camera. I'm swinging it. Here it comes. Here, you got the warning. I'm swinging it back toward you.
Okay.
To see if there's anything you wanted to add, because you got yourself looking decent. So I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but it looks like you prepared for it.
Well.
And now I will take the camera back to myself, because I know never put the Pookie on the spot.
There are no more questions.
There are no more questions. Perfect timing. Is there anything that you want to add before we wrap things up? And may I put the camera back to you for that?
Well, I don't think I have anything more to add. So
there we go. I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Thank you, Meredith. Thank you, everybody. We are going to both recover from the cold weather that we got this weekend. Is that a good way to put it? To recover from that cold weather, we will be back next week. Come join us. Become a part of the Inspire Nation family. Come to patreon.com/Inspire Nation. And certainly sign up for our newsletter. We have so many great stories and stuff. And yes, this is Sir Meowsers for a kitty cameo. In fact, I can't believe we just learned this today. When you were playing the game of hide the laptop from Sir Meowsers, who was trying to jump on the laptop, we put up a kitty bed next to the laptop, and he was in heaven. wasn't he?
I've done it before.
Ah.
But he still wanted to be even closer. So then he crawled onto the keyboard and then he restarted the laptop.
Deleting the web pages you were making in the process.
Yes.
Nikki Gurr, I want to send you all my love. All my love. So people are asking for shout outs here, for prayers, and I am honored and happy to do that. In fact, you know one thing we can do right now?
It's Nick, not Nikki.
Excuse me, Nick Gurr. One thing we can do right now is we can take 1 minute together as a group. There is a frequency, there is a resonance to breathing together. In fact, oh my God, I don't think we have him live on YouTube. Actually, did you get him live on Niraj? Is he live on YouTube now?
No.
Oh my gosh, Niraj Nayak. He'll be out in a couple days. Love his interview on the breath. There is something called conspiracy. And a conspiracy means to conspire or to breathe together. And when we conspire or breathe together, we are in the most amazing manifestation place. And so after I show you some meowsers here, for just 1 second, I want everybody, let us breathe together for just 1 minute. What I want you to do is either focus on healing your heart or healing the heart of a loved one. And certainly, Cosmic Groovy, I send all my love your way. And what I would like you to do is put somebody into your heart right now. And I want us to breathe in and out and conspire together for just 1 minute. Sir Meowsers, are you ready? I believe he is. All right. You've got somebody's name in your heart, and certainly be selfish. Put your own name in your heart for healing, for growth, for strength. And what I'd like you to do is breathe in and out through the nose. This helps calm the whole nervous system while setting a powerful intention for healing. Here we go. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, and in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, and in. See yourself or that loved one beginning to heal. 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, and in. Feel the energy of everybody meditating and breathing together at the same time. 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, and in. Nice and deep. Feel that belly expand. 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. Imagine being surrounded by this amazing glowing light. 4, 5, and out. And send out love to whoever needs that healing, or to everybody listening right now. 5, and in. Breathe in all the golden light you possibly can. 4, 5, and out. Send out love to everybody, everywhere. 4, 5, and in light. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out love. 2, 3, 4, 5, and in, surrounded by this most amazing golden light. 5, and out. Send out all the love you can. 5, and in light. And out love. And light. And love. For these last couple breaths, see yourself getting lighter and lighter and feeling better and better. 4, 5, and send out all the love in the world that you can. And in all the light in the world, feel that energy filling you up. and love. Send out all the love to everybody listening, to everybody around you, to your heart, to everybody on the whole planet. And in light, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out love. 2, 3, 4, 5. And last time, in all the light in the world. 3, 4, 5. And send out all the love you possibly can. 3, 4, and 5. Woohoo! Love you guys so much. Look forward to seeing you next week. Above and beyond all else, shine bright. And Jessica, I love you. I love you. I love you.
Ditto.
Oh, and look at Meowsers there. So cool.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.